Welcome to the Rooted Goddess podcast with your host, Leslie Sprague, where we talk all things wellness, woo-woo, life, and everything in between. As a small-town mom of two amazing kiddos, I understand the challenges of what it's like to stay grounded and go after your dreams. My goal for this podcast is to inspire you to root down so you can grow stronger, rise up, and let your light shine bright so you can be the goddess you are truly meant to be. Think of this as your one-stop shop. It's happy hour with a gal pal while getting truthful and heartfelt about taking the steps forward to living your best life. Welcome to the Rooted Goddess podcast. I'm your host, Leslie Sprague. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit honest here. I am completely going off the cuff. I have a few ideas on what I want to talk to, and this is kind of the way I structure most of my podcasts. I have a subject of where I want to go, but we never really know where the wind is going to take this squirrel brain of mine. So buckle up your seatbelts and let's get down to it. One thing I want to talk to you guys about is the confusion I personally have been feeling lately. So one of the things, for example, from one week to the next, and I'm sure you can relate to this too. Last week, I was so clear, feeling so good and so on point, in alignment, with what I was, where I was going, how I was going. And then this week, there was a shift. And that shift caused me to question a little bit what am I doing the right offering, the right things to help people? Am I doing, am I going down the right path? And so I'm sure that everybody has this in their relationship or their lives as well. And so I just want to bring that to light because, sometimes the lifestyle isn't as, it's not the quote unquote Instagram worthy lifestyle that everybody thinks. Nobody ever knows what's going on behind closed doors with somebody. Quite often we don't share the struggles. And, I was doing a lot of work and working with my fears, my doubts, things that were coming up for me that causing me to disbelief in my journey and where I was going. And all of a sudden I got hit hard with all the fears coming back. And so I've been doing a journaling exercise, and it helps. It helps to shift, and get clear on what you want, and B, to realize how funny, and quote unquote funny, in a sense, how funny these thoughts are and how they trip us up. So I've spent a lot of this week reflecting and journaling and reaffirming the beliefs in myself. So I know a lot of you are probably now thinking, well, what do you do? What were you journaling about? Well, first off, I get clear on my dreams. And here's a question for you. Do you let yourself dream? Dream about your work that you want to do. Dream about your life that you want to live and how you want to live it. because I thought I've always been a dreamer. If you talk to anybody that knows me really well on a personal level, I have lots of now this is my terminology. I'm sure people don't say it this way, but harebrained ideas or squirrel brain. I have a lot of squirrel brain. As I'm sure if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, you've probably picked that up on already. But I dream, and I dream fast and hard. But then I've become to realize that I don't allow myself to receive. So I'm gonna, like, before you're like, well, how do you fix that? I'm still working through that myself. So when I have that, I will come on and do a podcast for sure on that subject, because I was thinking about like myself and my life, and I'm constantly giving, whether it be in relationships or in money, and like I totally get, like, especially with dreams and things, like, you put it out there, it's gonna come back. But I feel like I have a block with coming back. So like I said, I'm gonna come back to you on the boomerang effect and getting those thoughts coming back, or clearing up that receiving energy. But I just I think this podcast is about getting you thinking and reflecting in your own life, because nobody can do that for you. And so yeah, grab a journal, and how do you want your life to look? And I've been doing this daily, and you know what, now that I'm talking out loud, and I find, like, as much as I'm giving you guys value, it comes back to me, and I realize things that I should be doing for myself as well. So that's one of the things that I love about this work, is that as much as I'm helping and transforming other people, it greatly teaches me at the same time. So grab a journal, write out, what are your dreams? What are your goals? How do you want to feel in your life? And if goals is a word, like, goals has a bit of a stigmatism. I don't know, maybe it's just in my head, but it's a bit of a stigmatism to it. Like, it kind of has that, I never set, like, this is the way I traditionally was. Like, I never set goals because I know I don't follow through with them. So, like, then use the word desires. Or what do you want in your life? How do you want to feel? Write those out. And then take a look at, as you're writing those thoughts, what's coming up for you. So for me personally, like, I keep, we are looking for a dream property, and we know exactly what we want, and kind of looking at it as like our forever home until we're like in our 60s and maybe 70s. Kids are all grown up and gone. And one of the things that keeps coming up is, like, well, we can't afford that. We can't, or on the flip side, like, the property that we want is in the country, and country properties tend to be more expensive. So then, like, the whole money mindset comes in to play. And so then writing out those fears. And so then once you write out those fears, those doubts, all the things that come up for you, write a positive flip story to that, and get to feel the vibrational shift. So for that example, like, it can be our dream property will be the exact price point or affordability or whatever, like however you want to word it. So it'll be the perfect price point that fits our budget, or the money will come in and we'll be able to afford it. So like kind of squashing the fears and beliefs. And I think that this is something I haven't done before, but you kind of have to do it daily or multiple times, I think. I'm still very new on this part of it. So so by doing it daily, like you're constantly bringing it into the present and the future, and it helps get you switching those thoughts a little bit, because your thoughts become things. What was the other quote? I wrote another quote when I was thinking about what thoughts becomes things, and what you think about, you bring about. And it kind of goes back to The Secret and the law of attraction. However, part of that a lot of people don't think about or that they think is that if I just think of a bag of money plopping in my lap, then it should magically appear. Well, no, there is a little bit of action that needs to be taken on that. So I can't answer what the action piece is for you, but even just simply starting with what you want, what are fears that coming up for you that are blocking you from what you want, and then how can you rewrite that story? Because those thoughts, those fears, doubts, beliefs, they're holding you back from stepping into your best life, your dream life. And I'm beginning to learn more and more, and like I'm excited because I am a dreamer. I'm beginning to learn more and more that you can have your dream life. So it was funny. I had somebody say to me today, I was going for a massage, and somebody said to me today, "Oh, must be nice to like be able to go for a massage." And I think it's interesting because I think, and this is just like personally my feelings, so maybe it's some doubts in myself, but I feel like they thought that because of my new journey in 2020, that all of a sudden I am going for a massage every month. But what that person might not realize is that I have been getting a massage every month for the last 8 years. Since my daughter was, since I was pregnant with my daughter. So, it's interesting that shift and what that comment created in me. Like, I'm a very firm believer that like I need to look, okay, why did I feel that way, like being judged in a sense for that. So I like to take a look at, okay, what's going on with me? What feels out of alignment? And that's what I have been working towards this past week. I know last week on the podcast I said I had a special announcement for you, and I still haven't announced it because of the resistance that's come up for me. And I have been working through it, trying to gain clarity, doing a lot of journaling. This is part of my new morning routine. And, you know, it's funny, thinking back to this week, I do believe I did journal on Saturday, but I know I didn't journal on Sunday. So I wonder if that broke, in a sense, my chain. Maybe I'm overthinking this, which, if you know me, I tend to do. Yeah, so consistency is key, and it's amazing the process, like when you go through that. Again, I don't want to share it all, and I'm still just learning, but I want to get you thinking about your thoughts. And I've talked about this before. There's those people who are constantly thinking negatively and they're constantly attracting negative stuff. And I'm not saying that just shifting your thoughts is the 100% clear answer either, but it begins to shift your perspective. It begins to get you to see and be grateful for where you are at. That's actually, as soon as I get done this, that's going to be the question of the day that I'm posting in my Kula Facebook group, is what, quite often we focus on what we're doing wrong, or what is bad in our life. Let's look at it from the lens of gratitude. What is one thing that you can celebrate about your day? Yeah, I think that is the end of my riff for today. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. And next week, we'll see, is March break. So we will see. But I kind of have the idea that maybe I should bring my kids on the podcast, and we'll do a little bit of an interview with them about thoughts and dreams. And yeah, I kind of think this could be interesting. Might not be very knowledgeable, or at the same time, it could be very profound. If anything, though, knowing my kids, will be in for a laugh or two. So yeah, if they cooperate, next week we will. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a interview with my kids, and we're just going to talk about all the things. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Namaste, goddesses. Thank you so much for listening, and let me give you a virtual hug, big squeeze, as a token of my appreciation. At the very least, I hope you had some fun while listening, and maybe even learned a thing or two. And bonus points if I got a chuckle out of you. If you liked this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could leave me a 5-star review, or if you know someone who could benefit from listening, share it on your Insta stories and tag me at Leslie's Yoga and Wellness. Subscribe to this channel if you want to stay up to date with new episodes. By doing these things, it helps to get my podcast noticed so that people who need to hear my message are more attracted to it. Please feel free to stop by my website, lesliespragg.com, and grab a copy of my free Mom Self-Care Kit. While you're there, grab a free few yoga classes. Namaste, goddesses. Until next time.